Hello everyone, and welcome back to another English learning episode from Fluent Path English. Are you looking for practical ways to improve your English that actually work? Well, you're in the right place. Today, I'll share 10 life-changing English tips that schools rarely teach you. These are not your typical textbook strategies. They're real-world practical methods that will help you learn faster, speak more confidently, and understand English like a pro. Whether you're preparing for an exam, planning to travel, or just aiming to sharpen your language skills, these tips will make a real difference. And don't forget to stick around until the end, because I've got a bonus tip that ties everything together and will make your English learning journey smoother and more enjoyable. So, are you ready to take your English skills to the next level? Let's dive in. Tip 1. Think in English. Most learners make the common mistake of translating from their native language to English in their heads. While it's natural at the start, this habit slows you down, makes sentences sound awkward, and can even confuse you. To truly become fluent, you need to train your brain to think in English. So, how do you do that? Start small. Begin by naming objects around you in English. Look around your room and think: table, chair, book, window, clock. This helps you connect English words directly to objects and ideas instead of translating them. Once you're comfortable with naming objects, level up. Form simple sentences in your head about your day-to-day activities. I need to finish this book today. I'm going to make some coffee. Next, try narrating your thoughts or actions in English. For example, if you're cooking, think: first, I'll chop the vegetables. Then, I'll heat the pan. If you get stuck on a word, don't worry. Use the words you know and keep practicing. Over time, this habit will not only improve your fluency and speed, but also help you think and respond more naturally in conversations. Here's another great tip. Try setting your internal language mode to English when doing everyday tasks like shopping, exercising, or even relaxing. For example, while walking, think: the weather is sunny today. I can hear birds chirping. The key here is consistency. The more you practice thinking in English, the faster you'll notice improvements in your speaking and writing. Remember, fluency begins in your mind, not your mouth. Tip 2. Use English daily. Practice makes perfect. To become fluent, you need to make English a part of your daily routine. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more natural it will feel. Start by changing your phone's language settings to English. This will help you learn new words in context and get used to seeing the language regularly. Next, watch movies or TV shows in English with English subtitles. This boosts your listening skills and introduces you to everyday expressions and accents. Try talking to yourself in English while doing tasks like cooking or cleaning. For example, say, I'm chopping the vegetables now, or I'm making my bed. This helps reinforce English without pressure. The key is immersion. Just like how a child learns their first language by hearing it constantly. Surround yourself with English and soon, it will feel natural. Even small daily practices add up over time. Tip 3. Learn collocations. In school, we often focus on learning individual words, but in real life, words rarely stand alone. They usually come in pairs or groups, and these combinations are known as collocations. Using collocations makes your English sound more natural and fluent. For example, instead of saying, do a mistake, you should say, make a mistake. You'll hear native speakers say it this way all the time. Similarly, instead of saying, big amount of money, the correct phrase is, large sum of money. These combinations of words just sound right to native speakers, and using them will help you sound more like one. Collocations often involve verbs and nouns, adjectives and nouns, or even nouns and other nouns. Here are some common ones to remember. Make an effort, not do an effort. Take a break, not make a break. Heavy rain, not strong rain. Strong coffee, not powerful coffee. By learning collocations, you not only improve your vocabulary, but also sound more professional and fluent. Native speakers don't think about these combinations, they just know them. And the more you practice, the more natural they'll become in your speech. A good way to learn collocations is to read or listen to English content and pay attention to how words are paired. When you find a new collocation, try to use it in sentences of your own. The more you use them, the more you'll internalize them and improve your English fluency. Tip 4. Stop memorizing grammar rules. Yes, you heard that right. Rather than obsessing over endless grammar rules, focus on recognizing and understanding language patterns. Many learners make the mistake of memorizing rules, but this can often make English feel complicated and overwhelming. Instead, it's better to focus on how the language is used in real-life situations. For example, instead of trying to memorize the rule for the past perfect tense, had plus past participle, pay attention to how native speakers naturally use it. You'll hear them say things like, "By the time I arrived, she had already left." Notice how the past perfect tense here expresses an action that was completed before another past event. The key is to listen, read, and practice regularly. Over time, you'll start to notice these patterns and intuitively understand how and when to use certain tenses without needing to recall specific rules. This approach helps you internalize grammar, making it feel more natural and less like something you need to memorize. In fact, the more you expose yourself to English in real contexts, whether it's through conversation, books, or media, the more you'll pick up these grammatical patterns effortlessly. Remember, grammar isn't something you need to study constantly. Just listen and engage with the language enough, and the rules will start to come to you naturally. Over time, they will become second nature, and you'll find yourself using correct grammar without even thinking about it. Tip 5. Use shadowing to improve pronunciation. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to native speakers and repeat what they say immediately, imitating their tone and rhythm. Watch videos or podcasts. Pause after each sentence and mimic the speaker. This improves your pronunciation, accent, and listening skills all at once. Tip 6. Learn phrasal verbs and idioms. Schools rarely teach phrasal verbs and idioms, but they're crucial for understanding everyday conversations. Break down means to stop functioning. Piece of cake means something is easy. Focus on learning a few new ones each week and practice using them in sentences. Tip 7. Practice speaking, not just listening. Listening to English is essential, but if you want to achieve fluency, speaking is the key. Many learners focus a lot on listening, watching movies, listening to podcasts, or reading, but they forget that speaking is where the real progress happens. To truly master English, you need to practice speaking regularly. One of the best ways to practice is by finding a language partner or joining online English speaking groups. This will give you the opportunity to have real conversations and improve your confidence. Platforms like language exchange apps or social media groups can connect you with others who are also learning English, so you can help each other out. But what if you don't have someone to practice with? Don't worry, there are still plenty of ways to practice speaking on your own. You can narrate your day or talk about your plans out loud. For example, while walking around the house, describe what you're doing. Now I'm making breakfast. First, I'll toast the bread, then I'll fry the eggs. You can even practice in front of a mirror, speaking to yourself as if you were having a conversation. This will help you get comfortable with forming sentences and speaking without hesitation. Another great way to practice is by recording yourself. Try reading an article or summarizing a story, then listen to it afterward. This helps you identify areas where you might need to improve, such as pronunciation or grammar, and you can track your progress over time. And remember, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are a normal part of the learning process. In fact, they're one of the best ways to learn. Every time you make a mistake, you have an opportunity to learn something new and improve your speaking skills. So, practice speaking as much as you can, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become and fluency will follow. Tip 8. Learn by context. Instead of memorizing word lists, learn new vocabulary in context. This helps you understand how words are used in real situations and makes them easier to remember. For example, instead of just learning the word exhausted, see it in a sentence. After running a marathon, I was completely exhausted. This not only shows the meaning of exhausted, but also how it's used to describe extreme tiredness after physical activity. Learning by context helps you grasp the right usage of words and improves your overall language skills. By reading, watching videos, or listening to conversations in English, you can see how words are used naturally and practice them in similar situations. The more you learn words in context, the more confident and fluent you'll become. Tip 9. Keep a vocabulary journal. A great way to expand your vocabulary is by keeping a vocabulary journal. Write down new words, their meanings, and example sentences. This helps reinforce your memory and shows you how to use the words in context. For example, word, perspective, meaning, a particular attitude towards something. Sentence, looking at the problem from a different perspective is important. Review your journal regularly and challenge yourself to use the words in conversations or writing. The more you practice, the stronger your vocabulary will become and the words will stick in your mind. Keeping a journal also lets you track your progress and motivates you to keep learning. So, write, review, and use your new words as much as possible. Tip 10. Be consistent and patient. The most important tip? Be consistent. Set realistic goals and dedicate time each day to learning English. Remember, fluency doesn't happen overnight. Celebrate small victories and stay motivated. Every step you take brings you closer to mastering the language. Bonus tip. Here's your bonus tip. Use English to learn English. Read English books, watch English content, and use apps that encourage English communication. The more you immerse yourself, the faster you'll improve. That's it for today's video on 10 life-changing English tips that schools never teach you. Which tip was your favorite? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Fluent Path English, and share it with your friends. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.